Hey fellow peacemakers, it's Lilly here. I know it's been a while since I've posted on my YouTube channel, so today I wanted to give you an update as to what has been happening in my life and why there's been such a gap between the last episode release. So the first thing is that unfortunately my virtual assistant has vanished, and so I am now back to producing all of my content, which means I have to re-download the Adobe Suite and Premiere Pro in addition. Fingers crossed I still know how to edit videos. I actually don't know. I guess we're gonna find out about that. So that's the first thing. I'm slowly getting reacquainted with the process and my workflow and resetting that up for future episode releases. So there were actually some unedited episodes which would be untimely to release now, so I had to let that go. And the other thing is I've actually just been really sick for the past few weeks. So I think it was back in April, a few weeks ago, I came down with not COVID, but something that was arguably a lot worse than COVID. It must have been a cold or a flu or some kind of viral infection. But basically, this was probably the most sick I've ever been in my entire life. And I did get tested for COVID many times, and it came out negative. But I believe it turned into a secondary infection, which means I was never really fully healed when I first got the flu or the cold or whatever it was. It might have been a party, I don't know. And then 2 weeks later, I got reinfected with something again, and that kind of aggravated my condition. So I've just been really sick. I've been coughing all day long, and so I really couldn't release an episode. And now I'm finally feeling a little bit better. I've definitely recovered a lot, thankfully. So, which means I am back to producing content, but there has just been a lot of shifts in my life, with my virtual assistant Veronica, who has been helping me editing all these episodes, which I've been tremendously grateful for. But now I no longer have her assistance. I have to do this on my own, and that's going to change my schedule a little bit. So I have to think about the logistics behind that and how I'm going to approach that. And another thing is, I don't know if you guys know, but I've been preparing for grad school, so I'm actually moving to Boston in August. I currently live in Toronto, for those of you who don't know. And I'm actually not sure if I will have enough time after going to grad school to continue to reliably produce content for Make Peace Not Beef. So that's something else I have to think about. And depending on how demanding my schedule is, I'll have to make adjustments. But until then, I do have a lot of content planned out. I do have thoughts about where I want to take this channel, this podcast. And most importantly, I really want to thank all of you for supporting me all along, for those of you who are still following my channel. And especially recently, I talked about my evolving stance on veganism, which leads me to my next point. There's something I want to share with you all, and I've been debating if I should share this at all, but I think it's important, to be honest, and which is that I have eaten meat actually twice this past month. Once was at a family gathering, and another one was I was trying to experiment a different diet with my friend for health reasons, and so they cooked me some meat and I ate it. But besides that, I've also watched a couple of documentaries which present an alternative to veganism. And that is not to say that I no longer stand behind veganism and plant-based. I very much do, and I believe in veganism for environmental, ethical reasons like that I mentioned, and also health reasons, right? So I will continue to support that, but I'm trying to kind of modify. Okay, what is the word? I'm trying to kind of find a more moderate approach to veganism that I guess incorporates a little bit more flexibility. And so I think I will talk more about it on my podcast as I kind of hash that out. But maybe there's going to be people who watch this and unsubscribe immediately, because I've been a staunch, firm advocate of veganism since day one. And when I talked about the dairy industry, and I still very much believe in all of that. But there have been some studies I've been reading lately that does explore the other side of meat, the case for meat. So I do want to I just want to put this disclaimer out there. If you start hearing me talk about that and you're wondering why that is, I do want to remain balanced and rational in all of my perspectives. And for me, like, I think it's so important to be a critical thinker, right? Whether you are a vegan or a meat eater, and still be open-minded enough to be able to absorb counter information. And that's one thing I never want to lose as a human being, right? Which is the ability to think critically, but also the ability to be able to hear the other perspective. So I might be exploring that a little bit on my podcast. And just tonight, actually, I recorded an episode with a close friend, and I'm really looking forward to releasing that soon. So yeah, that's pretty much for me. And also shout out to Tamara, my #1 supporter on YouTube. Tamara, I just want to thank you over and over again for all your YouTube comments on every single one of my episodes. Seriously, I cannot do this without you. I never even thought about being a YouTuber. I kind of just did a YouTube channel on the side to complement my podcast, but I really appreciate that you discover me through YouTube, and it gives me so much motivation to keep going. So thank you for being a main driver of my channel and a big supporter. So that's it for updates on my end, and I just want to thank every single one of you who still check up on my channel to see if there's any updates, and I hope to bring you more exciting, educational, informative, entertaining content. So thank you so much, fellow peacemakers, and hopefully I'll see you in a future episode. Take care.